Political parties care about one thing, and that's power. The leaders care about the power and the ability to influence the decisions that are made. And unfortunately, things have become so incestuous that now you have too many party leaders who actually have a vested financial interest in getting the guy they want elected. How is that? When you've got party leaders who also have side consulting firms, it's of great value for them to be able to weigh in and get a congressman in there that they can now turn to when they're not on their official party duties and say, by the way, I'm representing this company back here, and if they can get this research grant, it would be very beneficial. And of course, what does the candidate then say, the newly elected congressperson? Well, you helped me on my election, so we'll see that you get it. Now look, there's more than one player that's cashing in on it. I'm just going to be very upfront with you. To Melanie, my wife, and my family, I often talk to them about this. The most awesome thing in the world is we're so close to winning this seat without any strings attached. There will be no party leader. And I'm a Republican. I believe in every one of the Republican principles. Have chaired the Republican events, have contributed to many of the candidates, have even gone door to door to them. But you realize how close we are to winning this seat and not owing anyone anything except for the voters of the 16th district. Look at my finance sheet. No PAC money. There's no special interest money there. For what it's worth, Congressman Regula, for the greatest part of his career, would not accept PAC money. He didn't start accepting it until the very end when he decided he wanted to be the appropriations chairman. So it can be done. He proved it. And even though he at times may not have voted the way I would have, the fact of the matter is Congressman Regula was a pretty down-to-earth, trustworthy guy as our representative. And so here we are on the verge of actually taking this seat and being in a very similar situation. No one will be able to tell us they cleared the path for us. No one will be able to tell us they manipulated things for us or they paid our way. It will be because the people put us there. For those of you who might already have tendencies to be with another candidate, or maybe you're people that you would rather go along with some of the party leaders, well, let me just say that I'll be glad that if we do win this election, we'll be glad to work with the party and the party officials. That won't be a problem. But the truth of the matter is our first accountability will come with the people of the district, plain and simple. And I will say part of the deviousness that's taking place in this campaign right now, and not in my campaign, but in this, I guess, election cycle and this primary, stems from the fact party leaders are seeing that we could win this without the traditional support. And that means we would be in there and be able to march to the beat of the people's drummer. And so here we go. Here are the primary reasons why I've chosen to run for the U.S. Congress. The underlying reason is politicians will come and go. Republicans come, Democrats come, they tinker here, they change the tax code, add this benefit, take away this credit, modify this program. It happens, that's what it's all about. The difference now is they're no longer tinkering with the details. They're actually redefining the whole role the government will have in our lives. They're not just tinkering with policies, they're changing the system. When you pass a universal health care bill, now you've changed the whole involvement of government in our daily lives. When you pass cap and trade, you're getting the government involved in business in a way that it hasn't been. And the unfortunate thing is, Ronald Reagan's comment is true. The closest thing to eternal life you'll ever see on earth is the creation of a new federal law or a new federal agency. And look how fast we're creating the biggest ones we've ever seen in our country's history. To me, when it comes to health care, and I'll just touch on that one right now, when it comes to health care, everyone asks, have you read the bill? Or at least they did before the vote was cast. No, I have not read every page of the bill. But I will tell you, to me, most people probably wouldn't need to read the bill before they decided how to vote on it. Because if you understand what power and authority the Constitution grants the federal government, you'd be able to dismiss it very quickly as that's something that should be left up to the states. Add to that the common sense factor that when Democrats and Republicans both seem to agree that we do not have enough money to continue to fund Medicare and Medicaid as it stands, how in the world is it now all of a sudden though we have enough money to fund an even larger, expanded, more universal in its coverage healthcare program, especially at a time when we just, spent $1.4 trillion in the red last year, and now have lifted our debt ceiling beyond anything you can almost fathom, quite honestly. And yet, now's the time we would introduce the more costly and more expensive benefit and promise to the American people. Usually people don't hear me talk too partisan, but I am going to be very candid in this discussion, and I'm just going to say this. I don't know where Obama was born. You don't either, quite honestly. I don't know if he's a citizen or not. If he's not, this is a terrible day in America's history, that we've allowed someone to assume the Oval Office without the office of the presidency without a birth certificate. But regardless of whether he is or isn't, even CNN and their bio of our president talks of the fact that he grew up in a different place, not on American soil. What was it? Indonesia. He came of age in a Muslim school, a Muslim elementary school. And most teachers, child psychologists would tell us what? The most formative years of your life are those elementary years when you're just coming of age. So here's a guy who's coming of age in Indonesia, in a Muslim school. They're not saying the Pledge of Allegiance every day. There's not a flag in the classroom. He's not hearing about Memorial Day coming up in May and all the sacrifice of our founding fathers and all of our Army men and women who fought for this great country. They're not singing God Bless America every day in music class. He's coming of age in a place where he's not hearing America's virtues on a daily basis. And not only that, in many instances, who knows, he may very well have been hearing about how America's greed, America's immorality is leading to the suffering of the world, and so on. So now fast forward, and he ends up on a campus of one of our most liberal colleges that are dominated by professors who actually are not patriotic men and women. In fact, they do believe it is American capitalism that has created poverty in all the corners of the world. It's because of our mindset that we are greater and that we are such a military might that's led to conflicts in various corners of the world. And so now that is who is teaching him and helping shape his ideas even further. Fast forward, and we elect him as President of our United States. I don't know if Obama is evil or not, but the truth of the matter is I do believe he has assumed the presidency with the mindset that now he is here to help make America more like the rest of the world. After all, it's a global community, right? It's a global economy. And America will be better off, the world will be better off, if he makes America more like the nations around the globe, in particular the European nations. After all, America has no right to say she's better than any other nation. She's just like the rest. We're all equal. You know what? The unfortunate thing with that mindset is, in order for us to become more like the rest of the world, our quality of life doesn't rise. It declines. And the truth is, when you have a man in the White House as charismatic and intelligent, even if he knows so much that isn't so, you've got someone in there who is able to advance an agenda, and with the majority he has, they can advance it very effectively and very quickly. To me right now, I would say one of the greatest fears of mine is that they will indeed try to address illegal immigration before November, with the mindset, if we're going to lose our big majority, we got to hurry up and get it through. And I would expect some form of amnesty. And I think when that happens, I think we are in a heck of a situation, because now you will have so many men and women, such a large voting bloc dependent on the government for basically every aspect of their life. It will be hard for a conservative candidate to ever get reelected. And I shouldn't even use the term conservative, a free market candidate to ever get elected. Because let's face it, people will always vote for the guy that says, not I'm going to cut your federal health care, the guy that says I'm going to add another benefit. And so it is a heck of a situation.